If the bright turtle were as bright as ever. Unicorn flying through the trees. The black-haired courage of the four flying heroes. Male strokes in the tropical jungle. What kind of zoo can recreate the splendor of the eastern forest? My name is Dongqing, and welcome to Berlin, the capital of Germany. Here witness the rise of the Kingdom of Prussia. Experience the unification of Germany again. However, outside of the profound humanistic history, the city is also world-renowned for its love of animals. In the heart of the city, none is more famous than Germany's first zoo, Berlin Zoo. Next to him is the Berlin Aquarium, which has a historical status alongside his Go. Not far from here you can also visit the Natural Museum with its rich and important collections. Natural Museum. And the one who was once brilliant, but now you can only see it through my video. True Ocean Temple. Berlin's animal stories are so colorful, and ours. The story starts from the other side of the city, in Berlin. There is another person in the southeast whose reputation does not match its strength. Zoo. That's the East Berlin Zoo in 1955. Although it is more than 100 years younger than the West Berlin Zoo, its area. But it is 5 times the former. In addition, it is related to the socialist camp. The East Berlin Zoo is not only the largest urban zoo in Europe, a paradise for many Asian species, Dongqing's Voices in Berlin series. Season 1 I will take you into the depths of the East Berlin Zoo. A great collection of continental studies. Alfred Brehm House here. Not only has it created a rare species of reptiles that can fully respect the two chess. The breeding environment is an ark for gems of many species. In the last episode, I introduced you to an absolutely rare species. A family of 3 in Sulawesi with a cat witnessed the national treasure mouse. Cats had belly hunting skills with the legendary Joe's beetle turtle. Chewing snake skin dry and wandering around Custer with the beautiful Leopard snake. Mountains and forests. And now we will continue to go south, deep into Southeast Asia. Go and listen to the song of life in the tropical rainforest, next to the golden snake. The environment has been covered by large leaf vines that block the sky and the sun. Although this plant isn't the star of Southeast Asia's rainforests, but it's easier. Simulate real light in the rainforest indoors. Many people don't quite understand why tropical jungle species are. UV requirements tend to be lower than those of lacquer and desert species. The problem is explained here. You see, because the bottom layer lacks light, not even much grass can grow. Only moss ferns with low light requirements can adorn the surface. Vitality and want to stay safe in this relatively open environment. Animals often need to make some customized mimicry based on the environment. Especially species with short stature face predators that are taller than themselves. How to cleverly integrate with the ground has become a knowledge. For example, irregular yellow thread patches can be compared with fallen leaves that can be seen everywhere. The splicing of thick ink-like patterns can make the outlines sink into the branches and leaves. In the projection. This one hidden deep in the jungle is the Burmese turtle. Although the name, there is Burma, but it and its superiors are the first new Burmese turtles to leave the factory. Life. In a completely different environment than the dry and hot scrub valley. Forest areas at lower altitudes are much more moist and rich in natural enemies. No less. If you want to save your life, you must hide low-key at the bottom of the jungle. It is through this survival strategy that they have become the most populous people in Southeast Asia. Extensive road regulations, and not only those who use dead branches and leaves to hide themselves. Cotton road in the Malaysian rainforest, there is still a kind of dead leaf. Isomorphic species. It's really not easy to just see it. Because you have to keep your eyes on the ground looking for that unusual leaf. It's this triangular leaf frog with chicken legs. Not long ago, this species showed a rare skin-shedding behavior in the series Wonderland of Creatures. Well worth watching later. It is easiest to see in the wild during the rainy season. Their season because it's their breeding season, but unfortunately. Yes, the wild leaf frog is also in this world, and at this time, the ball puppet. Male dead leaf frogs would be under extreme stress if collected. It takes very meticulous care to reverse death. It's a pity. Most of them have not waited for the right person, and when the rainy season. Once it passes, the dry northeast monsoon will take over the Malaysian jungles. At this time, many plants will begin to lose their leaves and enter the dormant period, and the ground surface will also. Therefore, more light is obtained. In this case, it is usually hidden in. The bare crowns at the top of the tree will come to the ground to escape the heat. This is a young female. The tall ridges are characteristic of members of the genus. It would be almost unnecessary if it weren't for the scorching midday sun. Come down and move, yes, just like the superior black plum and hunted flowers, it also needs. The difference between high and low temperature can adjust the body temperature. Otherwise, it will be obvious to stay in the tree. Is a safer choice. They are also a group whose behavior is difficult to observe in the wild. Once they are. When you find them, they will be on the tree and rely on King movement around the pillar to dodge them. Only individuals that move close to the ground will appear in the human environment. But not all animals are afraid of the hunting sun. There is also a little guy here who loves hunting sun like a fish. Now let's go to the top of the environment and look for the stout companion. The one lying on the top basking in the sun is a female that changes color. If you haven't heard of this name, change to thunder stallion or horse snake, maybe you will be more familiar with it, but now. Domestic populations have been independently classified as new species, which indicates this distribution. The widespread little lizard may still hold a lot of secrets. For example, she is pregnant now. In order to absorb more ultraviolet rays, it often climbs to the top of the environment. And we didn't learn until a few years ago that they were fox and three-wheel drive species. But how efficiently do they synthesize it for the body that the body can store? How long does it take to take ossification to cure? What is the safe dose of oral diphenase? These are unknown. Although they are more common than bell crowns, humans do not know much about them. But it's very shallow, and under unknown circumstances. I want to make them healthy. To grow, you need to refer to the favorable factors in the wild. This can not only reduce the risks of captivity, can also greatly extend their natural lifespan. So you see, the species in this exhibition area are all rare, but we still create an environment at the same level as Wangshan Mountain as a public park. This is the way to show respect for life, for animals and the environment. The more selective we are, the more natural behaviors we can witness. The ability to replicate nature is limited. Although these road clan boxes look very tall, in the wild the height may not be as high as the bushes on the soil bag. It's really easy for little lizards to climb several meters high to avoid falling. In order to chase the lizards that ran up the trees, the predators also had to cross obstacles, upward development, and then there are many species. Tree gas lizards nightmare. Because they can not only come out at night, but also like to visit during the day. As tree snakes, you may be familiar with their color schemes, but their unicorn will amaze you. It's the unicorn in the tree. Meet the snake first. Where did this foot come from? In fact, this long nose did not come from lion, nor did it come from hard feet. It's a specialized meat nose that actually feels soft to the touch. Unicorns are mainly found in the subtropical forests of China, Vietnam, and Thailand. Like the individuals raised in Germany, most of them come from Vietnam, that hometown. Most seasonal changes are obvious, especially in spring and autumn. Mist and drizzle will cover the entire mountain forest. Taking this opportunity, they will. In the monsoon forest where the temperature is not high, searching and wandering for snacks. For Jianhui, life during the day is colorful. They have excellent eyesight and can lock on to targets from great distances, and when they encounter an object of interest. Okay, now our unicorn is going to show you how fairies drink. Dewey. Look, he spotted the leaves full of water drops. Gently put the tip of your mouth on the leaf. Use the suction force generated by the oral muscles to suck the water droplets in from the crevices of the mouth. During this process, the light blades did not rebound or disturb other leaves. This shows that their muscles can be carved like tofu. Controlling your strength is just the basic skill of living in a tree. Although drinking water is not as refreshing as drinking from a pond, it can still be considered pleasant. Afternoon tea. This kind of picture can only be seen in a complete environment. If this is your first time witnessing such fairy-like behavior, don't. Forgot Somlian? Does Jianhui usually only drink dew? Not really. They're not always in trees. Because their pointed noses may have to come out of trees to be used. Many people, including me, used to think that this nose should be used to imitate branches and leaves on trees. It is indeed possible, but people with field experience say that this is a sharp. The nose may also be a fishing tool. Jianhui fishes both in the wild and in the pen, and is dependent on water sources. The level is also very high. It has been observed that they will use this soft and pointed long. The nose is groping for food among the rocks and phoenixes under the water, and reality is just experience. It also shows that Jianhui likes to go into the water and is also interested in fishing. So it is possible that it has this purpose, but the pointy nose is actually chemistry. Detector or mechanical sensor. Currently unknown. This topic that was delivered to my door is worth continuing to explore, and in this environment. Another species that writes books all the time. You might have a hard time imagining what it is. Because in the wild, most of them only meet people on the ground. The moment they met, can it mean that they have always been like this? At close to 3 meters. There is a tight snake sleeping on a high tree trunk. Do you feel it? Very strange, yes? In fact, if you think about it carefully, you will notice something is wrong. This kind of person is famous for being shy. If snakes are really so sedate, how did they spread from North China to Vietnam? Things can span 3,000 miles. This level of breadth of distribution. It's hard to believe that they just stay in the nest every day. But in the volume. It is precisely because of this misunderstanding that they are often considered a short-lived ghost who doesn't like to move. This shows that there must be key factors that have been ignored. In the wild, they will spawn in mountain forests, thickets, rocky slopes, and fields. Wait for different environments, which shows that their ability to move is not weak. Coupled with their impressive body length in adulthood, it is enough to illustrate their living environment. Not too small, and they spend a lot of time hiding in cold, moist places. The microscope cannot be reproduced in a small space. These two clues can piece together the basic conditions for successfully keeping them in captivity. That is, it must be large enough to make a temperature difference, which also meets the needs of activities. If you think the evidence is not sufficient, we can also consider spotting. Although the adult spots can be very large, the head is very small. This shows that there are sufficient small prey in the wild to satisfy their nutrition. For example, baby birds, baby mice, and canal spirits. But the number of newborns is limited. What to do after eating them? Obviously, they have to go out a lot in order to find suitable prey. Hunting. Use smell to build a scent map of the surroundings. Visit these in turn. Animal lair. So the real Yuban must be more active than you and I imagined. This need for activity is an instinct that will not change easily. It's just that they are shy and can easily fool novices. But click this. Logical deduction. If an environment can satisfy the realm of food and sex, it can also. If the activity requirements are met, can we calculate a suitable one? What is the area of permanent living environment for species to survive? That's right, Germany's reptile welfare law was calculated one by experts. After all, the range of activity of these small animals in the wild is not infinite. Freedom also increases the risk of encountering predators, but these conditions are met. They can even be more relaxed than in the wild, and so will their activity time. Greatly increased. A lot of research can be done indoors. This is a lot of the two fears in Germany. The underlying logic of behavioral research can all be achieved by polyoxygen observation. Nowadays, the captive offspring of Yuban and Janhui are not uncommon in Germany, but they are not. Not every species' path to treasure is so smooth. This is the bushbuck turtle, known overseas as a shy beauty. That is. In the past, bush yellow geese had many flower colors and great variability in species. Gal, this is a typical yellow shape. The intense color is like a ripe fruit falling in the mountain jungle of Lawa, Vietnam. For example, the Zhou-style big turtle bush likes to take a bath in the previous episode. More similar to the Burmese deer tortoise, both are accustomed to living in mountain forests with moist ground surfaces. In the bush, why do they behave like this under similar circumstances? What about the brilliant colors? Unfortunately, there are still no field studies on them. Very few meat and medicinal markets have been nearly destroyed in the past 30 years. Wild populations and insect markets in most countries have not. Conservation plays a positive role. Today, populations in the wild are only one step away from extinction. Therefore, it is difficult to conduct field research, and the yellow goose composite species has 3 knots and has always been known for its extremely high level of care, resulting in captive individuals as well. Inadequate, but fortunately, scientific artificial breeding can save species from the trunk card extinction. Now, Halpu's zoo and experts have achieved stable breeding of them. Like here, I took over from Leipzig in 2018 and succeeded 2 years later. On the other side of the venue, there is a display of new students' rules. I will take you to see them in 2 sessions. If the flowers in this rule make your heart beat, don't forget to face the flowers. Attitude. Use reading and learning first instead of buying and raising. Only then can you understand them. The best way to save them, but compared to flowers, bush has already, is listed for control by Citus Fruae, which means any wild turtles found in the market were brought in illegally. Even more unethical. As a mature fan, I should be wary of such strict control. Be happy and resist the squandering of these extraordinary species. Behavior. Although CITES cannot stop the consumption of wild turtles in Vietnam, at least it can disrupt rampant overseas smuggling to a certain extent, and these animals that can no longer go home should be treated well and kindly. As an ambassador for our compatriots in the wild, tell the world what's behind this. If enough artificial offspring can be reproduced, nature will no longer. It needs to be introduced from the wild, and the species we are going to introduce next is This goal has been achieved. In this algae landscape full of unique branch-shaped compositions, inhabited by a species of delicate little turtles with wonderfully unique carapace. A pair of big glasses, bright and sparkling, they are from the tropical jungle. Meticulous painting maple leaf turtle was not widely distributed in Liangguang, Hainan and Vietnam, but it's hard to see each other now. Expensive collection and sales have not expanded their artificial population. Instead, they were more often regarded as moon-thrown playthings. In the last century, Germany, because the maple leaf is a very rare species, has gained experts. Our highest level of management, so that it was stable in the 1980s. Red. Like this one, this is an 8-year-old girl. I moved here from Cologne in 2019. Later I will take you to the backstage where she was born. Why do you say she is a girl? Besides looking at the tail and the red film on the maple leaves, you can also determine the gender. The female is yellow and the male is white. Hey, can maple leaves be kept intact? Aren't all animals raised in the wild? Or these visual animals? As long as the environment is large enough and there are enough visual grids, they will. Keep your distance. I also have a pair here, but this girl has. There are 100 ways to refuse a blind date, so it is almost impossible to see it again. As a visual animal, the leaf turtle has 2 unique skills. That is, these big eyes can move independently like a chameleon. This is an unusual skill in the entire reptile world. They look at things in 2 directions at the same time and synthesize a panoramic image in their minds. Comprehensively monitor every move of the insects in front of you, and in order to remain calm, they will stare at their prey like this and move away for a long time. Motionless. How can you see prey at different distances without moving? In this case, zoom lens is the best. Maple leaf turtles have this ability, their powerful phototaxis regulation. The power is 3 times that of adult eyes. The clockwise zoom capability is more than 5 times. And the picture is sharp and the definition is very surprising in nature. There are many animals with excellent eyesight. I want to avoid them. Eyes often require the ultimate in camouflage. This species may be one of nature's most astonishing masters of nimbus. Now it has appeared in the camera. It has not been found yet. Kinky Eye is right. Maybe the snail in the lower right corner is more eye-catching. But the real star of the show is the northern curved tree frog in the center of the frame. Or called Vietnamese moss frog. If you only discovered it now, you wouldn't be able to hold it in the barrage, right? The moss frog is the tree's best known large species, but it's not as popular today as it is today. The state is different. In the wild, they don't lie on trees. In fact, the living environment of this frog is very similar to that of the golden snake. They also living around the tall and cool Custer Cave, the dark green and the rock black and skin texture are all designed to simulate the stone wall. Taiwan lines instead of tree lines. You see, if it lies on the back wall, will the invisibility effect be even greater? Obviously, since they also live in Castor Cave, it means that they, like flowers, they are afraid of high temperatures, but as long as the temperature requirements are met. Subsequent breeding is not difficult. After all, their tadpoles can all survive. Growing up in the silent old water with fallen leaves, I am still very adaptable. There are more than just these 2 treasures at the junction of Vietnam and Guangxi. Follow them. Go up the rock wall. There is another kind of big star here. This body is covered with old-fashioned forest armor. The one with the tail of a crocodile is one of the few in our country who is under first-level protection. Lizard. Mountain-shaking evil lizard. The evil lizard enjoys the status of a national treasure and is also a member of our channel. Old friend. I talked about the living environment, gender of the place of origin, and the level of environment in each park before. I have seen the type specimen that is the whole network. If you already know all this, let's talk about the social nature of evil lizards in this issue. In fact, strictly speaking, the evil lizard is very similar to the bush maple leaf and is not considered a social animal. Some operators also point out that they should not be kept together, but they. Are you completely intolerant of the same kind? The parenting method here challenges this view. In this structure-rich environment with numerous visual barriers, I raised a total of 4 adult bastards, but because of their appearance, I couldn't determining gender, so the original party didn't know the gender ratio, but it was obvious. After several years of hard work, each evil has found its own territory. You see, in normal times, people would rather watch tourists with Fenjiangui. They want to stick to others of the same kind. This shows that they are very territorial. Understand the sense of boundaries. Under normal circumstances, eye contact alone can. We can keep distance from each other. For example, the one in front of us is a teenager here. The old landowner, and the one in the distance is a little boy who moved in later and is 4 years old this year. Young, they are all aware of each other's existence, but there is no threat in warning behavior, and this kind of relationship model can just verify the domestic. The observation results of the protected area are that in an environment with sufficient conditions, disgusting people can also live under the same roof, as long as everyone has their own private space. They can control their own boundaries. There is almost no fighting. So the question comes again, is it possible to provide this kind of loose social relationship? Is there any benefit? This requires targeted and in-depth research in the future. Only then can we know, well, the first corridor of the entire venue. Everyone now. A collection of comments that I'm still watching after eBay finished watching them. We're going to the biggest place next. The exhibition area is in the sunken space at the end of the first corridor. It is a two-dimensional large-scale species exhibition area in the Brehm Pavilion. The overall effect is simple. Atmosphere, even though the road in front of the box is already huge, standing on its. In front of us, there's a huge spatial difference between the two. It can still make it the climax of the entire tour. If you are looking forward to seeing many huge creatures here, then this skinny figure and wrinkled face with acne-prone eyes may make you disappointed. This guy looks like a thin dog at first glance. He is the smallest living bear species. Sun bear or sun bear. This is just Frodo, who just turned 18. How many viewers of the same age are watching? As an adult, Frodo, a sun bear named Xiong, weighs less than 100 pounds. The shoulder pad is less than 70 centimeters. This body type is not as big as a wire dog, so it gives people the feeling of being a bitch, but bears are. In Agata Anu, the 3-year-old and the dog do share their ancestors and have the temperament of the dog. That's right. Then they look so thin. Are they not raised well? Actually, that's not the case. They want to be able to climb up tree trunks tens of meters high at any time. You have to compromise on your body shape, that is to look like 5 kinds of flag trees. Same, make it as slender as possible and increase gripping ability. Therefore, it is not that they are thin because of poor treatment, but that sun bears are thin to begin with. The wrinkles on their faces are not due to age. In fact, they are all over their bodies. The skin is very loose. This is their iron shirt. When they are beaten, or when a tiger bites them, they can use this leather sheath to turn around and fight back. You see, in early scientific illustrations, artists also specifically depicted his forehead wrinkles, but this layer of skin was not found at that time. Defense effect, scientists are more interested in their temperament. Hiram himself once thought. Tamed sun bears can be very polite when asking for food. If you keep it at home, you can play with your children like a dog, although it is not the case nowadays. Bear breeding recommended, but these early reports are enough to show that sun bears are extremely intelligent species. Therefore, in captivity, they must work hard on their food and environment to show their intelligence. You see, this is just pretending to be sad. Their knowledge is also very flexible. If necessary, you can grab food and take it away. If it's like a radish. Such small pieces of food can be eaten in your hands, but they are rolled. Do they have long tongues? This is also an important dining tool for them. More than. The forking tongue can penetrate deep into the cave and spin out honey and white feathers. Eaten in the wild, their implementation can help plants put seeds. Spread further, the tree holes opened by these big claws can become. There are no rats in the cave. It can be said that sun bears are native to the forests of Southeast Asia. Conscientious developers. Their existence is not only important to forest ecology. It also has special meaning for the East Berlin Zoo. Because in 1961, not long after the zoo was founded, it created Germany's first record of breeding sun bears, a big deal for a zoo. Very inspiring. It is the step-by-step accumulation that can bring us to today's scale. The achievements of the East Berlin Zoo are not limited to this. It has also achieved another. Stable breeding of a rare animal the closer you get to the scene. In this exhibition area, you can smell the aroma of popcorn even more. It's not surprising that food smells like food in the zoo, but why does it smell so good? It lasts a long time. The answer lies in the animals that live with sun bears. They will. Refreshed from the back wall, the long fluffy hair, the curly tail, and a pair of brown button eyes, they give people the impression of blackening. The red panda, and this mysterious creature is from the same region as the sun bear. The distribution of bear pairs. Are they bears or cats? In more than 100 years. Previously, many scholars believed that they were an animal between a cat and a bear. And their habits are often compared to the honey bears in South America. Indeed, they are all carnivorous wood animals. But the difference between paired bears and red pandas is as big as the difference between cats and dogs. Because red pandas are canis-shaped. The binturong is a cat-shaped cat. The ancestors of the two parted ways more than 40 million years ago, so according to taxonomic standards. Binturong is not a bear, but a cat. It's just that the name panda has already been taken over by the popularity king. Then the naming can only refer to the more closely related fruit pair. It has been fulfilled. Given its identity, I estimate that many people will be worried about their safety. They are also carnivores. How can they be kept alive? This is true. Is the boldness of this venue. The main reason why they can successfully comatose here today is because either of them has. They love eating meat so much. In fact, the quality ratio of these two bears is quite high. The menus are all universal. The well-behaved sun bears also know that these black-haired guts are not for eating. Then the next step is to make the binturongs not afraid. After getting used to it for a period of time, the binturongs finally adapted to the sun bear's behavior. There is no interference between the two during normal off-peak travel. The binturongs who got used to this kind of shared house gave birth to many more babies and achieved stable reproduction. Of course, another necessary condition for fainting is to have excess resources. If there is only an indoor area here, then Hanyang is also risky. But there's actually a fairly large outdoor area here, and there's also space in the infield. That's all.
If they want, let them go out and move around all day.
Let's meet. Finally, I want to explain the origin of this popcorn smell. This is actually the smell of their urine. That's right, bear hair can be synthesized by the body, which is the same as the Maillard reaction. Volatile compounds. This compound smells like popcorn. It just adds a touch of sweetness to this venue.
I hope everyone can think of this knowledge every time they go to the cinema.
Okay, these are all the species that appear in this episode. Welcome everyone. Leave a message in the comment area to discuss your favorite animal with everyone. Remember the old rules, like the police for this episode. We'll continue to update next week. I am
Dongqing. I believe we will meet again soon. Ag, I will take you. Get to know Ajura in golden armor.
Watch King of the Jungle. Please scold the college python and measure its length. Memories left to the spirits in the trees. Berlin Sound Season 1 Season 2. It will be updated soon. The next content will be more exciting. Please forward it to let you know. Animal lovers around you.
We'll see you again next weekend.